Hi. Everyone hear me? Sorry. Trying to get this centered properly and then set up. Oh. Hi Kevin. Hi Lise. Hi Misha. Hi Alex. Google. Nope, not Gmail. Google. Jordan, where's your Hangouts on this phone? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I need to operate this properly. Can Jordan? Okay. How do I open this? YouTube and overlay mode, that's a thing that you can do. Hi everyone, sorry I'm taking a little moment to set up. I was expecting Ev's stream to take a little while longer. Refresh, but it's there. Okay, cool. All right. So some of you were with me yesterday. I usually do a Friday stream, and I'm working on a commission with 3 pieces right now. And they're all forest floor scenes. So this is what I started yesterday. And so this one's had a few layers on it, and so this is probably what I'm going to be mostly painting today. I also started this thing, which has a daddy long legs on it. And I have a little froggy dude here, little toad. I actually looked up species of toads and frogs in Ontario. And weirdly, there's not very many, and they're mostly bigger. So I guess maybe this is just a little, like a very young American toad. I don't know. I've seen them before, but apparently teeny tiny little toads are considered extirpated in Ontario. The only species that you would see that stays that small. So maybe this is just a baby. All right. Lana says the frog looks amazing. Thank you. Ev says that looks so good. Thank you. Hand washing. And Alex says teeny tiny toad looks ridiculous, but in all the best ways, doesn't it? It's pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, so what I've done so far with this is I drew some of the, like I drew the toad and these ferns on stream yesterday. And then I drew some more of the details. I put one wash, like one very wet wash down. And then after the stream ended, I put down a little bit of masking fluid to mask off some areas and put in another wash. So now I've peeled up some of the masking fluid that I put down on the ferns, and I will be painting in some more detail and hopefully making this all pop up. Suzanne says that would make a beautiful silk scarf. Oh yes, that would be pretty neat, wouldn't it? I feel like I would want to do more though. If I was going to print a silk scarf, I might do like a larger scene and have so that the repeat is smaller or so that it reproduces better on a larger scale. What paints did I use? Okay, let's get some paints into frame. I have my studio palette here. One moment. If I move this way. No. Well, how about here? Sorry. Can we? Maybe up a little? So I have my studio palette here. I have some past streams where I filled this, but you can see the colors here. Maybe if I turn it this way. So all of the paints that I'm using are from in here, and I really do just need to scan this and start attaching it to all of my videos. But I did an initial wash that was mostly bismuth yellow in the ferns in this area, and some raw sienna and transparent brown oxide and blue apatite genuine in some of the shadier areas. And I've been mostly focusing on those colors, although I've also been dabbing around the palette. So I've picked up a little bit of Indian Throne blue, a little bit of quinacridone purple and perylene green. I'm using a lot more paints, like different paints in these pieces than I usually do. Usually I focus on a much more limited palette, but I'm kind of enjoying just playing with all the colors in the studio palette. No intention to be mean, but why is your voice so wobbly? I think it's cute, but just wondering. I don't know. There might be something up with my audio. Crap brown, ha 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 ha, yes indeed. Very fun. And label printer, yes. We all love label printers. Okay, I'm going to get this back to where I can actually use it. So right now we have, apparently we have some shared obsessions. Everyone is obsessed with this particular color of TWSBI Eco Pen. This orange one, apparently several people on stream have the exact same pen, which is kind of fun. And everyone loves label printers. Alex says, this is just Lee's adorable fine self, in my humble opinion. Okay. I'm not sure I even know what a wobbly voice is, but oh, little voice tremor that you have sometimes. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think the next thing I'm going to do is start painting in the ferns here. Yeah, I don't know, might be camera shyness, might just be my voice. You don't really notice things about your voice until you are recording and people comment. Lee, did you get your eco from Wonder Pens? Yes, I did. I was looking at my sorely neglected label printer and my sorelier neglected gold labels. Ooh. Wonder Pens are the best. Yeah, I was really happy with them. But I might have to put in a Jet Pens order. Paolo had suggested in yesterday's stream a type of ink. It's called Sketch ink by Rohrer and Klinger. And I thought that was the ink that I had trouble with, but it's not. I had a bad experience with Diatramentus ink. The document brown specifically, I didn't get along with at all. But the Rohrer and Klinger sketch ink looks really nice. Okay, so I'm going to mix a whole bunch of bismuth yellow with a tiny dab of this is phthalo green. Why didn't you like Diatramentus? It didn't, well, it was the document brown, so it's a nanopigmented paint. Hey. A nanopigmented paint, and it, sorry, can you hear the stupid car beeping outside? Somebody set off their car alarm. Sorry, Diatramentus, it didn't flow very well, and if I left it in a pen for even a couple of days, it would just dry solid and wouldn't flow at all. It was really hard to clean out of things. I didn't get along with it. I feel like I'd need a smaller ribbon for pans. Yeah, so I need to get I tried with the ribbon I have, which I think is a 1/2 inch. It's slightly too big, but you can get smaller ribbons, so I've been looking. I haven't bought it yet because I'm trying to restrict my buying right now. Jet Pens shipping is not friendly at the moment, though. Yeah. Well, that might just let me hold off from buying more inks, even though so the sketch ink, the Rohrer and Klinger sketch ink has a very nice olive green. It's called Emma, I believe, and I'm really excited to try it. But yeah, I found it on Jet Pens, but it's not available at Wonder Pens. Electric Spaghetti says it's not friendly. How come? Are you talking about the shipping? If so, both Ev and I are in Canada, and so a lot of places in the States have really expensive shipping to us. A lot of places in Canada also have very unfriendly shipping to us. In general, shipping is bad. Okay, let's take a look at these ferns. So for any of you who are missing the context here, I went out with my client, person who bought these paintings. And we went out to a local natural area, just outside of town. We biked there and spent a long time looking at interesting plants and critters on the ground. And so I did some sketching and we talked about what we wanted to achieve with these paintings, and I took a bunch of pictures, which I am assembling then into a composition for these pieces. Amisha says, I have so far resisted creating an Amazon account, but I'm weakening. Amisha, I admire your resolve. Lana says, wasn't there the word about Cotman's being vegan? Can't find the info anywhere on the binder they use or anything really. Yes, I believe Cotman is vegan. A lot of the student grade paints are. Professional grade paints are more likely to contain both honey and ox gall. Jackson's doesn't label them as vegan. Okay, I'm basing my assessment on a couple of YouTubers. I mean, specifically Holly Exley, who are vegan and use Cotmans for that reason, and also because they enjoy Cotmans. Janice said too that they are vegan. So in a lot of lines, most of the paints will be vegan, but they'll have like a bone black or a coal black that's made with animal bones. So sometimes the line isn't vegan, but most of the paints are. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know what how Jackson's is classifying in that post. If they are and Winsor & Newton doesn't label them vegan on their own in this day and age, I would not be surprised at all because Winsor & Newton marketing is stuck in 1989. Yes. I feel like Winsor & Newton could be so much better at marketing their line, and that they are sort of, you know, they're going to cause their own demise by just not putting in any effort into improvement or marketing or show. Which pigment is bone black? PBK9, I think? PBK10 maybe? I'm not sure. Off the top of my head. I have a spreadsheet that could tell me. What Windsor Newton marketing unless putting 60 colors in Hobby Lobby counts as marketing. Yes, that exactly. As they just, it's like they don't even care. BBK 9 is the Ivory Black. Yes, that's the one. I'm Googling, which I should have done before asking. Yeah, well, sometimes the hive mind is quicker than the Google. They've been dropping the ball so hard for more than 10 years. Yeah, and it's a little bit frustrating because they, like, the number of times I've met other artists who will say, oh, I use some other brand. I use Daniel Smith, or I use Core, or I use Schminke because they're brighter than Winsor & Newton. And, you know, like, those are all great brands too. There's nothing wrong with using them. But I feel like Winsor & Newton is shooting themselves in the foot a little bit because when they sell sets, they just sell the same boring old selection, whereas other manufacturers are showing off some of their more interesting, brighter paints. This green is lovely, Leanne Gold says. Lana, yeah, do we have a cyan here? I feel like this is a cyan sort of green. Lana says, I'm actually in the mood to paint a frog. Well, join me. Show me the frog you paint. I look forward to seeing it. Okay. And this can be a little bit more green. I'm using 300 pound or 640 GSM paper, so it keeps the surface wet for quite some time, which makes it really easy to do this sort of thing where I've painted one layer and I've taken my time with it and I can still paint another layer and it'll blend in slightly. Lana says also many companies don't answer mails. Yeah. Yeah, I was really happy to see that. I was like, oh, I recognize that site. Well-deserved praise. Hello, hi Herb Cronart. I meant to send you a message that I was going to maybe do this stream. I didn't want to promise too much in terms of streaming. This can be kind of tiring. Still continuing what I was working on yesterday. I know that several people have been having issues with the YouTube notifications. And I've experienced that with some of my subscriptions too, where like it'll tell me about Ev's stream, you know, after it ends. Like, really, YouTube? That was not helpful. Paulo says the site is really well made, Lana. It's even better than I remembered. Yeah, Lana, did you redesign that recently? Like, make some substantial changes? Because I feel like it's a lot more usable than I remember it being from some time ago. I did not appreciate the commenter who said they didn't like the site because it's not super accurate helpful because it doesn't list the blue wool Lightfast scale. I feel like that's so... I don't know. I feel like there's a lot wrong with like manufacturer labels, and that's exactly why we need these sites. Okay, I'm gonna move my camera slightly. Oh, sorry. Maybe this will be better. I wonder if there's not enough plain text on the site for Google to parse it. Maybe we just need more people linking to it. I'll write a blog post and I'll link to it. I think so too. That is why, also that there's a database in the background. That's why I want to include a blog. Oh, Lana, I want to ask your advice on databases, or maybe just combine some of this information. Well, you can see the really nicely scanned images. Why would you need the blue wool scale? I mean, I guess if somebody is buying paints from one specific brand and they use the blue wool scale, and they've just decided that that's the only lightfastness scale that they're gonna care about. I mean, I don't know why you would make a decision like that, but... Joy says, yes, more linking to it. Yay, Joy. I'm really happy to see you. I hope that this time is working out a little bit better for you. I know that my stream, the 2 p.m. slot, works better for Europe, but it makes it more difficult for you. Would any one of you wonderful artists be available to write a nerdy post? Yes, I can. I'm all about the nerdy posts. Her Cronart says the woodland piece is coming out well, Lee. Nicely done. Thank you. Paula says the blue wool scale is good if you can't see the results of the testing. Yes. I mean, I guess some people just want a numerical scale, but I don't know. I also feel like a lot of the testing, both ASTM and blue wool scale, and even things like Daniel Smith does actually test their paints. They independently test their paints, but they independently test them in a lab setting, where they expose them to UV rays, like in a machine, and that's great, but it doesn't catch some kinds of fading. So, you know, they have things that are rated as extremely light fast by their testing, but their testing isn't catching some kinds of fading. Alex says 100% unrelated, but guys, it's getting cold enough to be snuggle weather, and Dex is already more in it to win it. Hugs. Yes, Neuron's been snuggling. We haven't turned on our furnace, even though it's been, you know, frosty at night. And so he's been snuggling at night, which is really lovely. Oh, Lana says, as guest entries, it would be cool. Of course, your links will be added, etc. Sure. Hit me up. You know how to contact me. Oh. Lana says, Lise, I just checked. Yes, there was a spike in views, although we have only basic analytics and we don't track people, so it's not very accurate. But it says it went from about 20 visitors daily to 800. Yeah, that's a little bit of a spike in views. Paula says Schminka does their testings in their factory ceiling, which is kind of funny. Roof? Skylights? That's like they have a glass roof? Paula? That's hilarious. Thank you for sharing that. Everyone thinks that Lana's spike in views is awesome, isn't it? That's so cool. Lana says, I also thought about things like palette setups and limited palettes, mixes, etc. I know everyone has their expertise. Yeah, it would be really cool to have all sorts of different blog posts linked back to different artists. Okay, and there's going to be one other little one of these over here. Have the URL for it, but I can't post it. Yeah, so I wanted to add a bunch of you as mods, but I couldn't figure it out in the couple minutes that I had setting this video up. So I'll set you up as mods, and then you can post. Is Ev mod? Nobody is mod right now. Usually I have my husband as mod, but I've got his phone, so I'm the mod. It's really bad. Lana says this could be a cool community project, but I can't pay for posts yet. I don't make money off this. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't make I make a tiny bit of money off my own blog, only through like Ko-fi and affiliate links. But highly, yes, another golf rig. The painting looks awesome. Thank you. Paulo says, can I send you the link to Discord? Yes, absolutely. And I'll post it in my Discord. I'll post it in Ev's Discord. I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it also in the description of this video. And then for the next one, when we have these nerdy conversations, I'll make sure that a bunch of you are mods so that people can add links. Great. Right, that's my phone. I'll take a break later on and make sure that everyone has it. And Ev is a nice mod person. Yes, Ev is a wonderful mod person. I feel like Alex would be a good mod person. Lana would be a good mod person. You would be a good mod person. Lise would be a good mod person. Basically, like, what if I just make a chat full of mods? Joy would be a great mod person. There we go. So I'll just like make you all mods. Well, one moment. Lana says, what money I make is less than the server cost right now, so there's no win margin yet. Yeah, I mean, my website pays for itself, but like just barely that. It is, however, a great way for people to, like, people find me through social media or other sites or locally, and they come to my website, and so I get a lot of commission requests through my website. It's got fairly decent SEO, so like it's totally worth it for me to have my website and blog, but it's not directly making money either. It's totally fine. Next steps will be adding results in the blog. Alex says, you sent me paints, you help. Lana, if you have a list of paints that you'd like, I don't have a database of my paints like Alex does, but I do have a lot of paints. So if there's anything on your wish list, we can talk about it, and I'm happy to send you stuff. Alex says, who says I'd ever stop being a hoarder? Lee says, yes, we need a wish list. This is the test that Leanne Gold was talking about. It says we'd all be good mods. Use a special xenon gas lamp. Yes, exactly that. Lee says we all get linking reds and band hammers. Whee! Yeah. Joy says your website has great SEO. It comes up in so many searches. It has very specific SEO. So if you are looking for a certain selection of pigments, it shows up. If you are looking for botanical art in Canada, it shows up right underneath Botanical Artists of Canada, where I'm the first name. It has great SEO in some respects, but you have to be the kind of nerd who's looking for my content. Ev says, writing blog posts is hard. I find video editing much harder than writing blog posts. When it comes to paint samples, I have not swatched all the ones I got because difficult times. I have some coming from Oto. Would it be okay to add the missing ones in a few weeks? Yes, absolutely. Whenever. Paint doesn't go bad. Paulo says, I'm not buying any more paints. I said that, and then I bought more paints. Troy Decision says, I'm the kind of nerd where Lee's website comes up. Yeah. I find painting hard enough without adding anything more to my plate. Ev says, I find the writing harder, but that's possibly 100% because English rather lumberjack French. Because English rather than lumberjack French. Just don't want to disappoint anyone. No, you're not a disappointment at all, Lana. Suzanne says to monetize a website, you need to do evergreen posts and promote them on social media and in newsletters, and you need ads on your site, of course. Yes. So it's also just a decision about what your goal is with your website. So I don't know what Lana's goals are particularly. I do know that for myself, I don't really, my goal is not to make a living blogging. My goal is to use my blog to drive traffic to what I want to make a living at, so it's a subtle distinction, but I'm not concerned with the fact that my blog doesn't earn money directly because it earns indirect money. Annette says, I'm buying paints right now. What paints are you buying, Annette? Hercrone says, it's late here, so I have to go already. Hopefully I will get here earlier next time. Take care, folks. Okay, yeah, see you. I do weekly videos, weekly live streams at 2 p.m. on Fridays, 2 p.m. EST, so that's whenever that is in your time. Paulo says, I just feel guilty about the ones I have and don't use, so not buying any until I use at least the ones I have. I admire your discipline. Yeah, there will be no ads and the site is free, although there are updates in Ko-fi and on Instagram about what is new, but not often, and I'm still having a full-time job. Right. Annette says, I was in a local art store where you had to ask to take a look at the actual paints. I need to see them. Alex says I'm trying to use what I have more. I'm making more mixed books and stuff. I'm trying to use them more. And it says more Rembrandt paints and some Winsor Newton. Ooh, what colors? Been really good at, Lee says I've been really good at not buying paints for 3 or 4 months. As soon as I discovered it, I was like, I've been really good at not buying paints. And then my brain went, yeah, yeah. Early on in the pandemic, I actually went several months where I didn't buy art supplies at all, and I've made up for lost time recently. Suzanne says, I found Lee on a Google search for Canadian nature illustrators. Cool, thank you. I appreciate this method of finding me. He says, buying paints, and now I'm at it again. Yep. Lana says, it's really difficult not to buy paints. It's like Indeed. Have any of you tried the new releases from Magello Mission Gold? They're up to 126 colors. They last were at, like, I think Jackson's has 105. But I saw a few people swatching. They have something they call a cobalt violet brilliant light. They list the pigment as PV102, which is not listed anywhere, and they say it has the highest light fastness rating. And so, of course, I bought it on eBay. They also have a new brown made with PBR29, which is another pigment I've never heard of. Annette says, I just hit the pan in some wells of my palette and got scared. The Joy decision. I totally do that about everything. Once I start, I buy all the things I've been putting off. Some of that buying is chores. Yeah. He says we're gonna need specifics or we'll start fantasizing like little pink pigs. Lana says, tell me about it, Annette. I imagine how scary it is when the tube is empty and you can't refill it. Alex says, this is why I'm really trying to ramp up the supply swap party. Joy says, I wonder if Renaissance will be picked up by Jackson sometimes. Annette says, oh boy, I have a spreadsheet with all the colors I want and all the different prices in different shops, and now I see which paint is in stock. You are so much more organized than I am. I wasn't making videos for a while. Would anyone enjoy a chill Renaissance swatch video? I would love a chill Renaissance swatch video, Lana. Paulo says, stop enabling us, Leanne. Well, Paulo, I could say the same to you. See, now I'm shopping for fountain pens and inks. It's all your fault. Annette says, I have the cobalt violet brilliant light. How is it, Annette? Alex says, sounds like a hallucination. How does it look? Dutch Nature Art says, hi Lee, hi all, this is a nice painting. Thank you. Joy Decision says, I would, though basically anything you like doing, I'm in. I agree with Joy. Lise says, good to know I'm not alone. This 0 to 100 mentality is so roller coaster. Yes, I agree. Everyone says hi to Dutch Nature Art. Yes. Hi, Dutch Nature Art. Joy's so sweet. I'm the type to very quickly escalate from, a lamp that projects stars would be nice, to how can I build a home planetarium? Alex, are you me? Annette says having a spreadsheet is half the fun for me. So the thing with spreadsheets is I'm happy to build them the first time, but then I don't maintain them, so He says yes, more swatches. Oh, now I feel ashamed. You're only human, but not feeling regret. Yes, no regrets. I'll try to have it edited until same time tomorrow, while you work fast. I've been looking at small bedroom-sized TVs. Almost like the cobalt violet from Winsor Newton, but more granulation. So Annette, the swatches that I saw of the Magello seemed like it re-wet more easily. Is that accurate? PV102, pigment violet. Alex says we use a computer monitor as a TV, less expensive. We used to do that, then we got an expensive TV. It's bad because my husband and I have different sort of, expensive purchase types that trap us, so then we end up with all the things. I feel like I missed a message from Amisha. Oh, I'm trying to decide if I should make up a palette of my pro paints for my former sister-in-law or just get her a 16 set of cheap pranks like I started with. She's in her 80s. I would get her the nice paints, but yeah, just a very small quantity. Like get one of those plastic palettes and just put a dot of the pro paints. Soul Keeper on YouTube has a swatch of the new Magello gold colors. Does he? I thought he had a swatch of some of the, like he said new colors, but then when he swatched it, it looked like the old colors. And it was an older video. But I might be wrong. I did see a couple of swatches. Eric E. Ling, I believe, did a swatch, and they were gorgeous. Dutch Nature Art, some paint brands are very difficult to buy here or very expensive. I'm assuming you're Dutch Nature Art? Have you tried Jackson's art? It's UK based, but they have really nice shipping. Now we're talking about planetariums. The expensive TV, the thing you talked about him spending money on last live stream? No, we've had the TV for a couple of years. The recent huge purchases were a whole bunch of power tools. Worth looking at monitors. We now have a 40-inch monitor. Woo! But he used the pigment as PV102. I'm so confused as the video is from 2017. Yeah, I don't understand that video. Mind you, I didn't watch it all the way through. Annette says the tube version of Cobalt Violet from Winsor Newton is hard to re-wet, but the pen is nice. The Magello Cobalt Violet Brilliant Light is flakier when you re-wet it. I did not get a solid color. That's very interesting. That's some fascinating insight. Yes, we all escalate into crazy plans. Earlier this year, I went down a rabbit hole because I'm an avid gardener, shall we say. I have a very large garden, and we started looking at buying property like out in the woods up north, or in somewhere in Quebec maybe. And so we were looking at buying property, and I decided I might want a greenhouse, and then this quickly escalated to, no, I want to attach a greenhouse to my house. I want it to be the entire length of the house and 15 feet wide. I want, like, you know, if we build a house, I want to build a greenhouse that's attached to my house. I want it 15 feet wide and the length of the house. I want to build it using passive house, and like solar passive heating and all sorts of stuff, and put a hot tub in there and keep it at a subtropical climate, even though I live in Canada. I went crazy, and I spent so much time researching this thing for a property we don't even own, that we, like, literally this cannot happen for another 5 to 10 years. Paula says, Magella Mission Gold Watercolors has 126 paints now, and here are the new 21 new single pigment colors. Here's the uncut Jacques color swatches from my recent Mission Gold video. Okay. They were a gift from the distributor. All right, so Paulo, I didn't really... When I looked at the first video, it didn't seem like he was swatching new colors, but then there was another video. I haven't really looked into that. Also, I saw the date. It was 2017. It was very confusing. Alex says, don't get me started on the specs for our life goal house side catio. Yes, Alex, you were mentioning that your partner is also was nerding out about using aerogel insulation, if I recall. The catio sounds reasonable. We will definitely have a catio. And also we'll have a cat door into the crazy greenhouse, which is fully designed because of course it is. Check my phone. How are we on? Okay. Paula says it's weird, isn't it? Yeah. We're gonna need more cats. Yeah, silly aerogel. I'm not putting aerogel on the walls. I can get behind the home Faraday cage. I cannot get behind the home aerogel. Okay, so now I'm going to leave this bit for a while and take a look at this little froggy dude. Alex says we're going to need more cats. Yep. Our current house TV is the oldest smart TV you can get, says this Joy. Yeah. Lee says, might as well design it now. I designed my dream home when I was like 19. It will have stable downstairs. I still want it. Yeah, I think I started thinking about house designs about the same age. But I mean, in fairness, at that time, I was actually in civil engineering school, so it kind of made sense that I was nerding out about these things. Now I'm an artist, and we know this plan won't happen anytime soon because location. Like, we want to get a house out in the woods, but we also kind of have to live in a city for a while at least. So, I don't know. Kind of a problem. Okay, so I'm going to, nope. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a layer on this frog, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm building up the layers underneath here, and then, yeah, so I'll probably be going for another half hour or so on this, 20 minutes to a half hour on this stream, I think. So Alex says, so the Droid decision from before they started putting in all that unnecessary crap. Yeah, that would be nice. Our TV is so full of unnecessary crap. Lee says, there's very little chance I'll ever move very far from here, and even less that I'll ever be a homeowner. When I drew my house, I thought I was going to be a veterinarian, not a basket case. Oh. Joy says, so I'm kind of sad we don't have beautiful land mammals native in New Zealand, but when I think we can let our cats outside pretty safely, I'm glad about that. That's interesting. You have a lot of like native birds though, right? I feel like even in Canada, like we have a lot of land animals, but I don't feel like they're really a huge threat to cats. Like bears won't go after cats. Our bigger concern would be the cats going after smaller creatures. Alex says, guys, our catty was going to have multiple levels and shady spaces and sunny spaces and cat plants. Right, so yeah, we want to have a cat door into our crazy my goodness, words. We want a cat door into our crazy greenhouse, and then the cat or cats can go wild. Paula says, I'm also getting a garden, so I can plant my yuzu and pomegranate tree. Whoo, I'm somewhat jealous. Those things would not grow where I live. Until I have my subtropical greenhouse, then they grow fine. Joy says, all the birds. Yep. Alex says, yeah, I'm not where I wanted to be, but Handsome Land did a really good job, so I jokingly call him Sugar Daddy. Yes, so I mean, disclaimer here, yes, I am a full-time artist. Yes, I do get paid to do commissions. Yes, this is a commission. I get commissions regularly. But all that being said, my art career pays for my paints, it pays for my studio, it pays for a few nice things, but my husband's job pays the mortgage and most of our larger purchases and expenses. So, you know, I always feel a little interesting because on the one hand I'll get people at our shows and stuff ask me like, oh, you're an artist and does that pay the bills? And that always annoys me. But then I'll also get, you know, people who ask me, oh, can you, like, that's so cool that you do this for a living, like, so you really can have a nice life with being an artist, and you know, depending on the audience, I feel very differently about how to answer that. It's okay to do commissions and it's okay to live from your art. It's also okay when it doesn't. I 100% support your ability to eat while also making art. I 100% support your ability to keep the electricity on while also making art. Yeah. Is being a commissioner a stable job? I'm still considering which art career would be best for me. Val, I have a few answers to that. Freelance is never going to be stable. It's just not. You will have months where you are swamped with work and months where you have no work. That's every freelance artist, even ones who are making a lot of money. So you like, if you're looking for something that you're going to get the same income every month, doing commissions is never going to be it. The other thing is my experience. I mean, this is a private commission. This is something that somebody is paying me to paint this because they're going to because they're buying the original and hanging it on their wall. But most of my commission work is not private commissions. And certainly a lot of my better paid work would be commercial commissions. So I've done editorial, I've done like national magazines, I've done commissions for government and universities and companies and stuff. And I would say that that's a little bit more stable once you start building that up. Maybe. I don't know. The other thing is, in general, I feel like art benefits from having multiple income streams. So I do commissions, I get paid to paint things. That's maybe a third of my income. I also teach classes. That's some income. I'm also on YouTube. My channel's not monetized yet, but that's going to happen within probably the next couple weeks. Because I'm right on the watch hours minimum. I get some passive income from affiliate links and other such things. So I have a bunch of different income streams. I also get paid for exhibiting in some cases, and I also get paid. I'm also applying to grants and calls for entry for government shows. So the answer is you're never going to make a living that's very stable and reliable on one income stream as a freelancer. It's always beneficial to do multiple things or to have multiple ways that you get paid. Bye, Paulo. Sorry. Suzanne, in Brockville, coyotes are a real problem for cats, small dogs, and old dogs also. Oh, right, coyotes. I guess coyotes do hunt cats. Belle says, thanks for your honest answers. Yeah. I mean, I have no regrets about my career choices at all. But I think that in general, art is not the sort of thing where you can count on, you know, this is the recipe for how I'm going to succeed. It's going to change. I'm always still surprised by the sorts of commissions that come in, like what people want to pay me for. That's fine. Some of it is lovely. Some of it is really fun. I've had some really fun commissions this year. But yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to leave this little froggy dude alone for a while, let him dry. And I'm going to start working on the background just to show you how that works. And so what I'm trying to do is create a layered scene. So I've drawn in some leaf litter and stuff on the ground here with, with sepia ink. And now I'm just filling it in with different colors and trying to leave some areas lighter and sort of, I think it's called negative painting, painting the stuff behind the object so that some things pop up. Lee says, that Zodiac commission still blows my mind that the client went through with it. Yeah, that was an adventure. Misha says, I have no illusions. If I had to depend on my art to eat, I would quickly starve. There are some perks to a fixed income. Yeah, I mean, there's also some choices that I make. Like, I choose to focus on income streams that I find more interesting. So I have, at this point, I know that I have more of a following than some of my friends who are making a living off of their art. But my income is less reliable. And that's because I choose to focus on things that maybe don't have like an immediate payday. The artists I know who are actually paying for their art and aren't very, very well known, where art is their only income, and they are actually supporting their lifestyle entirely with that. And they aren't very, very well known. A lot of them teach a lot of classes or take small commissions and get small amounts of income there, or do festivals. You can do like art sales and festivals. Joy says, we have a bit of a two-way thing with cats and wildlife. Currently, cats do prey on birds, but they also prey on the biggest threats to bird life. So they do about as much good as harm in most areas. That's very interesting, Joy. The dig cages and such are more with incoming coyotes in mind. My diva's not built for real nature. Amisha says, I have decided to not undervalue my art. If someone does want to buy it, that's not fair to other local artists trying to make a living. We appreciate that, Amisha. Yeah, that's also definitely an issue, is, and we can't avoid it entirely, but there's definitely, in my community, and I think every community, for every artist who's out there who's selling a little and whose goal it is, even if they're not earning a living yet, but their goal is, this is a career and I'm trying to earn a living, there's someone else who just, they enjoy making art and they'd like to sell a piece sometime. So they're happy to just, you know, tinker for hours, and they'll sell something like this and they'll be like, yeah, it's $20. Yeah. Less than theirs for sure, but not so cheap that I undercut the value they represent. Hey guys, my partner and I just talked about the blog on Sun and Colors and would like to include artist portraits and paintmaker portraits where artists get to introduce themselves, and paintmakers too. That's super cool. I think cats are expected to stay indoors in some pest-free areas now. As a regional bylaw, I've been intending to look that up. Oh, like, is that, you're saying in New Zealand? Basically, like chicken wire caging but made of steel, burrowed a few feet into the ground so no creature can dig underneath and get it to my precious babies. They can make a run that's basically a long box of not chicken wire with the sides going deep, deep to keep my fake nature babies separate from real nature meetings. Joy says, Lana, that sounds like a great match. Bev says, I'm off to my daily walk. That does sound lovely, Lana. Joy, yes, in New Zealand. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more painting, and then I think we are getting to about all that I intended with today's video. So yesterday I wanted to show you a little bit more of the painting process here. It's rare that I have a commission that is suitable to sharing on YouTube, just because often private commissions will be gifts, and so I can't share them while they're in progress. And commercial commissions, if it's a publication, they don't want me sharing it before it's published. If it's a if it's a publication, they wouldn't want it shared before it's published. If it is like a logo or something, again, they wouldn't want to share it before they release it. So in general, it's frequent that I can't share commissions. And then with my own work, it's like tends to be a lot bigger and would be less suitable to a live stream. So I really wanted to show you some of my painting process. But yesterday I basically just sketched and did one layer. So you didn't really see much of my painting process on this. So I wanted to show this today. And hopefully you can see a little bit of what goes into these paintings. Because this is one of those unique commissions where I'm okay to share. Because my client is buying the painting for themselves. So there's no problem. Hi, Ev. Could you consider to share the commissions after they have been gifted, like a video? Potentially. The other issue with videos, it depends. It depends. There are things that I don't necessarily want to share. Also, with larger pieces, it's really difficult to get enough video. And I also frequently, like, this is one of the only cases where I would paint flat like this. I frequently paint up on a tilt. And that's more difficult to videotape. There's just a lot of considerations there which make it make it so that my usual paintings are just a little awkward to make videos of. But this one worked out well. How can you talk and paint? This is so fabulous. I think I'm painting a lot slower than I usually would. It's really great that you can do a little bit once in a while though. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And I'm hoping that I can use this as an example and get some more of this type of commission. You know, nothing against painting pretty flowers, but this is really fun. Enjoyed it immensely. It just gives it time to dry. You're good. Yep. So I'm also just moving around, painting a little bit here, a bit there. And so my goal is to keep this area around darker and keep a lighter area in here. Try to keep some contrast, so there's some areas of pure white and some areas that are much, much darker, like all the way to near black. I'm also in love with this teeny tiny toad. He's so cute. I like my little toady guy. Go look at those tiny toes. Yeah. Misha says I'm enjoying watching you. Thank you. Suzanne says this is so lovely. You made me look. All right, I think we are reaching the end of this. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, I can take some questions now. But then otherwise, I think I'm heading off very shortly. Little things in life. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. I'll keep posting progress pics of this painting over on Instagram and the other ones that I'm working on. I might still be working on this series, some of the other paintings, next Friday, so maybe that's what I'll do for the stream. Bye! You'll have to film Bob Ross style. Yeah, we'll try that. Take care. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye.